Hey,
Hey,
what's up, everybody? Welcome to our reviews for Breaking Bad Season 5, Episodes 2 through 5.
there you go.
I'm here with,
AJ Talent.
and I'm Owen Finch. And obviously, this is very exciting because we're finally get to do this because we haven't,
Yeah.
if you're wondering why we haven't done this in 2 weeks, because I think that's when we uploaded Episode 1. It's because we've just been extremely busy. Our schedules just haven't matched up. So,
School and work for me. You got college stuff going on. I'm sure before
yeah.
spring break you got a lot of stuff happening.
Um, So it's disappointing because we wanted to finish Breaking Bad this month, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. So
But since we're doing these episodes in like big chunks, we'll probably be able to get this done
yeah.
relatively soon.
um, I think what's gonna happen, either we're gonna get to episode 7 or we're gonna finish the first half of season 5, which is the whole season 5 to some people, but that's a different topic for another day.
Yeah, we're
Um,
not we're not counting. We're not considering it season 6. It's one
no,
season, guys. Relax.
yeah. Um, I don't know what. I wish I was kind of watching the show at the time when people thought it was a whole different season, but um,
Like it, it's one season. Like it
yeah,
just doesn't make sense for it to be more than one season.
yeah. But yeah. This was a very, and also too, we got Red versus Blue on the CM Brothers channel coming up, and we're also going to do some movie reviews on this channel. You'll just have to,
Negotiator and Bird Box are coming up.
yeah. Surprised you haven't. That'll be, but I'm surprised you haven't
I've
heard of
seen it.
Bird.
Like I've just seen like the thumbnail here and there.
Okay. Um, but yeah, let's talk about Breaking Bad. Um, we're gonna start off obviously with episode 2 because that's the first episode of the whole show. Um, but yeah,
This batch,
yeah. Um,
very
but
Mike
yeah,
centric episode.
yeah. This episode is called Main. I don't know how to say it, and I should have looked up the pronunciation, but it's called Main Madrigal. I think it's Gus's name of his group that he uses. I forget what it's called. I can't say the word, but whatever. I tried to say the word, so you can usually look up this
Good.
episode. Um, but yeah, this episode came out on July 22nd, 2012. And it says huh?
Madrigal, I think.
Yeah, Madrigal. So I was close.
Yeah, almost.
But, but yeah, this episode came out July 22nd, 2012. And obviously, the rest of the episodes, this show airs weekly. So just add up
Okay.
7 days to each episode after this. So yeah, let's start off by talking about this episode. Obviously, I'm a little bit more fresh into it than he is. He watched the clips and stuff, but I've seen it.
Yeah, I've skipped through it. Well, I've seen the whole thing just like 2 years ago,
Yeah.
but I
Uh,
just skimmed through it a few minutes ago.
I watched the whole episode. These chunks of episodes, this is the video where I stayed up to like 4 in the morning watching them. Um, which was a mistake because I was kind of falling asleep during the fifth one, not because I was bored of it, but when you stay up to 4 in the morning, that's gonna happen.
Yeah,
So I ended up,
yeah. You usually do not know when to go to bed.
yeah. Um, but I wanted to finish episode 5, so
Hey,
um,
Breaking Bad. That's a positive of the series. If we ever do a series review, very binge watchy.
yeah, I think we are. I was gonna announce it when we did it at the end, but I think when we finish the show, what we'll do is it won't obviously. This would be kind of like when we want to do it too. It wouldn't be like we have something we have to do. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, we'll probably will. But
yeah, especially because the movie's coming
well,
up.
we said we were gonna get through it this month, and we didn't. So we should set that
Yeah.
aside for later.
Um, but yeah, let's start off. Maybe when like the movie starts getting more announced and trailers start playing and stuff, we will. So, um, but yeah, let's start off by talking about this episode. Um, like AJ said, this was a very Mike heavy episode, which I obviously didn't expect. But it was very Mike heavy. So we'll start off by talking about the opening. So the opening was very odd, but very awesome. The opening is someone that like was like an executive for Gus's restaurant, Los Polos Hermanos, like doing sauce tasting. I forget his name off the top of my head, but that's not really important because he's
just
only
to show like the effects of Gus's death.
Yeah, and we find out that his restaurant basically went out of business because they took his sign down, like, when he was walking past. At least, that one.
Because Gus was like, the main man, and he was obviously like in on Gus's schemes. He is, being affected by him being uncovered as a criminal. The police are there to negotiate or like interrogate him or possibly arrest him. But he electrocutes himself and dies before that can happen.
Which,
and just to show, because like in this episode, it's heavy emphasis on like Gus's men and how they are in prison right now.
Yeah, but I did like the scene though. Because obviously we knew he was in on it with Gus, but it was kind of a way to, like I said, I like how Breaking Bad, like in the intro, would do little things to hype people up to want to watch the episode. I feel like this did its job. So, so then we find out that I like the next scene. So Walt is on the phone with Jesse, and Jesse's obviously all worried because he's worried that someone's gonna find the cigarette that has the ricin in it.
Right. Walt obviously knows. Oh yeah, Walt. Before that call, he got. Was it before? I don't know. Anyway, after the call, Walt pulls out the ricin cigarette and like, goes to Jesse's house so he could like put it somewhere, because Jesse thinks that he lost it. He didn't know that Walt swiped it from him.
Yeah. And it actually shows him doing this as like they're on the phone, like they're on the phone, and the shows shows scenes of Walt doing this process. So
right, so it just kind of shows how scummy he is. He's lying right to Jesse's face, like Jesse said he's like lost this deadly poison. Yeah, when really Walt stole it.
It's definitely showing that Walt's still in his Heisenberg stage and stuff like that too.
And that especially shows when later on when Jesse breaks down.
Yeah, and it shows like a whole montage of them looking for it in Jesse's house. And coincidentally, where did Walt plant it? I forget what they call it, but like those dust cleaners, huh?
Roomba.
Yeah, Roomba. And coincidentally, he was the one that pointed out to it was Walt. Like, what the hell is that? And then Jesse tells him what it does, and Walt planted.
Yeah, it makes sense why it would end up in there. Like, oh, I dropped it on the floor and the Roomba picked it up.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And
or Jesse,
I like how
he breaks down. He thinks, he almost killed Mr. White for it.
Yeah.
And Walt's such a piece of shit, like he's like comforting him, like, don't worry about it, knowing full well that he's the one who stole it. Like,
he stole it,
and then
he, like, if you think about it, Jesse pretty much had every right to want to kill him and stuff like that.
Yeah, because, for real.
Walt pretty much consoles him and stuff like that, and I liked it too because this is Jesse, going back to the stage that he was in the beginning of season 4 after he killed Gail and everything.
Just like an emotional wreck.
Yeah. Obviously I like this too. This is kind of tied up loose ends with that because I feel like it wouldn't have made sense that Jesse just randomly would forget about it and stuff. I kind of like that this tied up.
Still dealing with it.
Yeah. And pretty much Walter just wants to get back to cooking meth. Well, that kind of makes Walter kind of even look more like a piece of shit. Jesse's breaking down and stuff. It's like, yeah, let's get back to work,
Jesse, we have to cook. I don't know if you know about that meme, but Walt being like, Jesse, we have to cook. That's a big Breaking Bad meme.
Oh, it is. I didn't realize that, actually.
Yeah, because all he wants to do is cook meth with Jesse. That's like a big meme.
So they offer for Mike to work with them. They pretty much tell him that their product is like one of the most valued drug products in that area, which is, in New Mexico, but it's probably, in that whole continent and stuff like that.
Walt's like the best meth cook in the country, so it's like people really like that product.
And Walt, he even says like him and Mike don't like each other, but they can do business together. This can just be a business relationship. But Mike says no because of their history.
Walt is a time bomb.
Yeah.
Like, he knows that Walt's ego, like, the same thing happened with Gus. Walt seems like harmless and whatever, but eventually things just escalate, and then the whole thing goes up in flames.
Yeah.
Literally in the whole thing, Gus's case.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, so
I just want to be a part of that.
Yeah, which I actually like that. He even tells Jesse.
It's nice to he's like, I'm sorry the kid doesn't see it, and he like wants Jesse to get the hell away from Walt.
Yeah, if you think about it,
he does care about Jesse.
Yeah, if you think about it too, Mike's pretty much right in that case because everything that's happened, with Walt involved has gone down, has pretty much been, like I said, like a time bomb. And obviously the Gus thing wasn't really a good example because Gus,
tried to kill Walt and everything. Yeah. But still, similar thing could happen here.
Yeah. So then basically the rest of the episode just focuses on Mike. Hank and Gomez go over to and they sit in on like a meeting where someone's telling them everything about Gus and stuff like that. And I didn't notice this at the time, but Lydia, because obviously I didn't notice this because I didn't know who she was at the time, was actually sitting in on that meeting. I don't know if you caught that when you watched it for a second time, but she was actually sitting in on this meeting. No, obviously I didn't notice it because I didn't know her face because I hadn't met that character yet. So then what happens is we find out I did like the scene where his boss George, who's gonna retire and stuff like that, pretty much was talking about how he had Gus over his house and he pretty much didn't realize the criminal that Gus was because he seemed like an awesome guy.
Right.
And I think that's kind of cool because
really shows that like Gus hid in plain sight.
Yeah. And then Mike is at a diner and we meet Lydia. This was the first time we had actually met her directly. And she's worried pretty much that the police are gonna find her and Mike and well, she doesn't say Walt, but basically Walt, but she doesn't know who Walt is yet.
And she thinks this because Gus's men have been captured. Arrested by the police, and they are being held.
Yeah. So Lydia wants Mike to do something about it, and Mike pretty much implying, she implies that she wants Mike to kill them, but doesn't say it.
And Mike is really loyal, like Mike does not want to kill his own men.
Yeah. Yeah. So he says not to worry about it because his guys are loyal and they're not going to end up talking. So then the next scene pretty much is Mike himself being interrogated. And obviously Mike was prepared for this because he's a cop, so he knows the questions that they're going to ask.
Right.
So pretty much Mike lies and said that he worked for Gus, where he would, he was like a protective service where he would like take people's applications and make sure they weren't doing anything illegal and stuff like that. Which that's
a good alibi. Like he can't hide that he did work with Gus, but he didn't.
Yeah. So then he tells he also talks about how he was a cop at one time, but then something happened, because that he was a cop in Philadelphia. I don't know if we had known that yet, but
no, they don't. They mentioned that he was a cop. They don't mention that he was in Philadelphia.
Yeah, and then pretty much Mike isn't giving them the answers that they want. So Gomez says this can go the easy way or the hard way. I like to
not going to say anything spoilery, because you're not Better Call Saul yet, obviously, but they might explain a little bit of that.
Yeah. So Mike puts his hands out, like ready for the handcuffs.
Right.
But they don't. then they're not under. He said he's not. They said he's not under arrest yet. So
right, they don't have any solid evidence to arrest him.
Mike's about to leave, and Hank says that he found the 11 men pretty much. Where because we forgot to talk about this in the last review actually, when Walt and Jesse had that magnet go off. One of Gus's pictures broke, and we see like a little bit of that bank where all that money is probably going to.
Right.
We forgot to talk about it because we're idiots. So
yeah, well, there's a lot happening that episode.
Yeah, so pretty much they bring up his granddaughter and talk about how she possibly couldn't have any money at all unless
they jokingly are like, this girl's Heisenberg, like this little girl.
Yeah, but Mike still plays along and says that he doesn't know anything about that. So then pretty much the next scene. This isn't the next scene, but since we're talking about Mike, we're just gonna keep going with Mike. You want to talk about what happens with Mike next with
Mike in a lawyer visits.
Well, that's the next episode.
Yeah, then you can talk about this part then.
So this is when Lydia puts a hit out on Mike, because one of we saw him like before Mike went to get interrogated. I forget his name off the top of my head, but that's not important because he's dead. So that's not really a good thing to say. But luckily, this is a TV show; we can say that type of stuff. So
yeah, this guy was kidnapped a few seasons ago. Mike rescued him.
Yeah.
Now he has been shot dead by another one of Gus's hitmen that Lydia hired to take out the rest.
Yeah, I like the way Mike outsmarted him too. Like he used his granddaughter's like stuffed animal to prevent him from getting shot. Like it just shows like Mike's always consistently.
Mike's really like ingenuitive, and he's been doing this a lot longer than anyone else.
So obviously he realized that Lydia did this. So what happens is you could talk about the scene where he actually goes to Lydia's house.
Well, first off, man, Mike didn't want to do it. You could tell he really didn't want to do it, but Mike
didn't have a choice.
Puts two bullets in his in the hitman.
Yeah, and we saw that
it was like sympathetic. Like he knew like the guy needed the money and everything. They all needed the money.
And we saw too the guy that was kidnapped by what Mike went to go save got like shot in the back of the head and stuff.
Yeah,
like
he was dead.
So yeah, then he goes to Lydia's house, which I thought at first the scene was going to be completely random because it didn't even show Lydia at first. It showed like the nanny and her daughter, and just like, are we supposed to know these people? But there's more to it. So Mike's over Eddie.
Really unlikable. Like she was like bitching out the maid and like being a not so great mom.
Yeah. So, I like the way too. Like, Mike came out like we knew he was coming, but like he actually was like in the house too, as the nanny and the daughter were there, and like he made her like proceed to have a conversation because he pops up behind the wall and grabs her and forces her to tell him that she's just gonna take a bath and stuff. So Mike threatens to kill her pretty much, but Lydia won't shut up pretty much because she doesn't want, because Mike said that, she's pretty much not going to get found and she doesn't want her daughter to think that she abandoned her. So Mike shows pity on her because obviously this actually ties in. There was a meeting earlier in the episode where Walt, Jesse, and Saul were talking about the next place that they were going to do their cooks, which I actually like this scene too because you could tell that Saul was a little bit afraid of Walt because of what happened the last episode. Like, he even tried to convince, Walt and Jesse, pretty much they hit the lottery, just quit while you're ahead. And Walt was just like, pretty much he says he can't quit because he pretty much he owes Jesse money, and he obviously lost money from the Ted storyline. So yeah, that Ted storyline did something else.
Yeah. The whole point of that storyline was to make Skylar unlikable, make Ted unlikable, and make Walt broke. Yep.
We'll also be we got a great scene out of it, and I guess if you think about it, maybe that storyline, if that storyline didn't exist, there wouldn't be a season 5, I guess, because Walt probably would have, just ridden off into the sunset. And Maybe not though. I don't think he would have, but anyhow, so they talk about though how they don't have methylamine pretty much to make the meth. And that's very important because they could go back to like an old traditional style of cook, but I think they said like with the methylamine, you're gonna sell more meth. So this ties in because Lydia can get methylamine, and obviously this causes Mike to spare her life. And then he calls Walt and tells him that he's in on the partnership pretty much. And I like, Walt was very Heisenbergy here by saying, good. He was all happy he was in. And then we get like a pretty creepy scene afterwards because obviously speaking of Skylar and that Ted storyline, I guess Skylar got very depressed about it. Because obviously she's upset that she feels like it's her fault that Ted's in the hospital. Right. We see that Skylar isn't getting out of bed, isn't eating, and then she's pretty much very depressed. And Walt continuously tells her that she did what she had to do for the right, to protect her family and stuff like that. Skylar's probably also depressed, just like we talked about it too. That was a bad storyline, so that just shows you right there how bad of a storyline that was.
God, man, my character. She's a good
actress,
not a good character.
Yeah, and obviously the ending scene basically is just kind of Walt being like very creepy. Where he gets into bed with her
and like basically like implied rapes her.
Yeah.
Walt's not super likable anymore.
Is this the episode where he moves in, or is that the next episode? I think it's this episode, correct? Where he moves back into the house. I think it's the next. Oh, is that the next one?
Huh? I think it's the next one.
Okay. But yeah, that was episode 2. Any additional thoughts you have about it? Because I feel bad because I kind of did most of the talking about that one.
Yeah, this episode was kind of just like very straightforward. A lot of Mike scenes. A little bit of Skylar, which is like more set up for the next episode. Very good episode. We get a lot more Mike scenes in Better Call Saul, so this is like it's very interesting because Walt and Jesse, like, they're not really like the fighters, they cook the meth and like they hatch crazy schemes. Yeah. Mike's like badass shooting people, and this is like we'll see how he does things.
But I thought this episode was still really good. I'm gonna give it a B. I'm gonna
give it a B+.
Yeah, I might say, I would say B+. Yeah, great episode.
And it's nice to see like more fallout from Gus's death. It's not like, all right, sweet, Gus is dead. I guess we all go home, live happily ever after. Like,
yeah,
Gus's death had a lot of shit happen after it.
Yeah, it screwed up a lot of stuff if you think about it too.
Yeah.
And obviously too, I think one key thing that came out of this episode, and you notice it too, is this made Mike probably, I don't know about for everybody else because I haven't talked to anybody else about it. Mike pretty much went up like the ranks when it came to favorite characters of all time in the show, just because of this episode.
It's my third favorite. And, big part in this episode, in the next episodes. He's just like shown to be a solid dude. Like, he's not merciless, like he does care about his men, and he doesn't want Jesse doing anything stupid.
Yeah.
He cares for his granddaughter.
You can see that he does care, like, even the scene, like,
completely heartless. Even
and then obviously the Skylar scene, was just a nice little touch that, went on in there too. So, but yeah, now let's talk about the next episode. I forget actually how it opens, because I only skimmed. This is the scene where Mike and his lawyer. You could talk about that scene, because you were about to talk about it, and then this is this episode where that happens.
Where what happens?
When Mike and his attorney go over to the prison.
Oh, right. So Mike and his attorney go to visit the men from Gus's gang, or security force, and they're talking about how all their money's gone. They seized all of it, so they're worried about their hazard pay, and they're worried that someone among them is going to talk and rat out everything they'll be in jail a lot longer, and won't get any money. Like the guy was saying, how he's going to be in jail for 8 years, and he's fine with that. He'll do his time, but he needs to make sure his family's supported. And Mike says, "Don't worry, I'll take care of it. I got something planned."
Yeah. And speaking of which,
so Mike's really desperate. Like, he needs to get these guys the money, or someone's gonna talk.
Yeah. And speaking of which, you said Hazard Pay. That's the name of the episode. So
Hazard Pay.
Yeah. And then it does the intro, which I love the intro. I love the intro of Breaking Bad, just nice and simple. And this is the episode where basically they focus on, where Walt and Jesse are gonna, where the next cook operation basically is gonna be. So most of the episode is focused on not really a montage, but like they go through quick scenes of Saul showing them around to certain places they can go, but they get rejected because they go to a food place once, and obviously they don't want to go there because
after last time.
Yeah, and obviously too, they said a health inspector, could come in and obviously they could get caught, so they obviously don't want to go to a box place.
It's like that's Gus's thing,
Yeah. They don't want to go to a box making place because I think they say something in the fabric of the boxes will cause the meth nut. Because remember, Walt got all concerned about a fly. You don't want to go. So.
To be fair, though, Walt was feeling a little guilty about blowing up 2 planes indirectly. So.
Yeah.
Although I think now Walt wouldn't care if he did that.
Yeah, exactly. And then obviously too, I think there was one scene, where they walked by a laser tag and they just immediately went, no, they didn't even go into the place, and that was pretty funny. And I did like the scene.
Just was hiding earlier.
Yeah. In season 3. I did like to Saul too was didn't really trust Mike at first because he threatened to break his leg before. So, and then Saul pretty much realized that a pest control place, which is like an exterminator. He assumes they're gonna say no because it's like right by a police station and stuff. So obviously that's red flags all over the place. And Jesse and Mike say no. And obviously I was like, you know what? There's gonna be a point where Walt says yes, and then it's gonna happen. And Walt had an awesome plan about this, though. Do you want to talk about what Walt's plan was with this?
No, you can talk about it.
So basically,
I'll talk more about when we get introduced to the quote-unquote exterminators.
Yeah. So Walt comes up with a plan to have a house tented with an exterminator because nobody goes inside a house that's being tented with exterminator because they don't want to deal with bugs and stuff like that.
Yeah, also poison gases everywhere.
Yeah. So they're gonna go in. They're gonna cook a batch, and then they're gonna blow up the house so that way they wouldn't realize that people were cooking meth in there, which is I think that's the most genius way to do a drug operation probably ever.
I mean, I'm sure it's difficult because you're constantly on the move, but that's honestly kind of a negative and a positive.
Yeah, but it was. Actually, probably the most genius one was probably Gus's way with the laundry mat, but this was pretty damn genius as well because it's just something that no one would ever think of and stuff like that too.
Right.
So pretty much they get Saul's guys, who one of them's name is Todd, and I think the other one's the one that mainly works with Saul, the one that tried to interrogate Ted, and then the one that caused the car wash, Walter and Skyler to be able to get by the car wash and stuff. I forget his name off the top of my head because they don't really say it that much, and he's not as big of a character as Walt, Jesse, and stuff is. So, I could look it up, but I don't really want to. So, we find out that they actually, I mean, this is legitimately a pest control specialist in a way, but what happens is that they end up stealing stuff from their customers, and Mike pretty much tells them not to do that because then they can't it affects their business in a way too because obviously they can't go cook the meth and stuff like that. So they even go through the operation. I forgot to mention too what's his name, Badger and I think its name is Skinny Pete. They go
Skinny.
by like a big like loading truck where you would load up instruments and stuff like that. Instead, obviously they're loading up meth supplies. I did like the scene
They
too.
actually want to get in on it, but Jesse turns him down because Mike's like, nah, only professionals.
Yeah. And I kind of took it too as like in a way like Jesse was conflicted about it, but he's kind of also in with pretty much with the big dogs now and stuff too.
Right, like he can't really have these low level guys. Remember what happened with Combo? Combo took one to the back. So
yeah, they do, and they go through they show like a lot of montages this season so far. I've noticed because I've been saying that these past 2 episodes.
Trust me, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah. I like it. I mean, I like the montages. It's just you notice.
They got good music.
You just notice it when you do a lot of episode reviews at once. So, it shows like a montage of them, putting the tent up and actually building their operation and stuff. And they also have like their stuff like in like a small like greenhouse,
Right. So like doesn't smell like meth everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh wait, did we talk about the crew like the
Oh yeah, you could talk about the crew.
All right, so they're pretty important later on. So Mike hires these outside guys to be the exterminators. They set up the greenhouse and like the tent around the house, and then they don't ask questions about anything. They just know that Walt and Jesse go in, cook, get out, and they set up everything and then set it back down. So they're just like it just shows that like they're expanding their like empire, I guess. They're getting more people involved,
which I like, obviously, because
like powers reaching, like they're not like underlings anymore. They're like top dogs.
Yeah, because obviously too, what I'm thinking about too, since I don't know anything that happened. As we know something big's gonna happen that causes the first scene of season 5, with that 2-year dime jump. So that's what
1 year now after this episode.
Right. The next one.
Yeah, happy birthday to Walt.
Yeah.
He's 51.
And but yeah, I do like the scene too, where Walter and Jesse are talking about, when Walter's giving him advice about what to do when it comes to Blocks, and his mother. I forget her name off the top of my head.
Andrea, I think.
Yeah, Andrea.
Andrea.
Because Walt is convincing him, not to lie about where he works, because obviously we saw what happened with Walt when he did that. So,
well, I mean, say he works as an exterminator, not
yeah, meth dealer. So,
that's a bit of a red flag.
But obviously, I like this because obviously we make the comparison that Walt and Jesse have that like father-son relationship. This season, you're seeing a lot of that thus far. More so than
even if it's in Walt's manipulative, crazy way, he does care about Jesse.
But you've definitely seen it like the most this season than any other season. So I really like it. Huh?
So far, yeah.
Yeah. And then pretty much that kind of was, the first half of the episode was just them restarting up cooking meth again. Now you get to talk about, I'm going to let you talk about the Skylar stuff, because I know you love talking. Actually, the Skylar stuff has actually been pretty good this season thus far.
Yeah, it's been pretty good, just because, she's all depressed, and
yeah, I
can understand her not liking to be around Walt. So she's very depressed, and during a family barbecue type of thing.
Oh no, that doesn't happen yet. That's the next episode.
This is when I cannot remember when these things happen.
Yeah. This is when she flips out of Marie first.
Oh right. Marie's, Marie's being Marie. She's complaining about everything, and Skylar flips out on her and just tells her to shut up. And I get it, Marie's kind of annoying, but I really like Marie actually. And, she doesn't. Skylar was way out of line when she was doing that.
Well, I'll say Marie can be annoying at times, but it's not. I think like I don't find her as annoying as Skylar because she's not really a part of like a big storyline really ever. She's just kind of there to kind of further like Hank's part of the storyline or
Right, and
something.
like she's a good person, you know. Skylar's not really.
Yeah.
And then Marie brings her home, and her and Walt have a talk, and Walt shares about the whole affair business. He doesn't really talk about his end of it, why she did it, the whole Heisenberg thing.
Which you can think about it too, like this kind of makes Walt look like a piece of shit even more because he's making Skylar out to be the bad guy. Like she's all
right.
Skylar's
like all sympathetic, like hey, it's not happening anymore and whatever.
Yeah, but like Skylar comes off as the the bitch pretty much in the situation and stuff.
Which I mean, she is, but yeah, well, at least she's not going around killing people.
Yeah, intentionally, anyways.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, Ted lived, he's crippled now, but hey, kill count still 0.
Obviously, Marie's, very shocked about this. I think because
I think she's the one who assumed like Walt cheated on her.
Yeah. So then what happens is, the next scene is, and we see that she's very depressed too, because I think it's this movie where they're watching the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where they do, it's like one of his famous quotes that they actually show in this movie. I forget what it is now because I only watched the clip, just recently, but, then the next scene pretty much is the ending pretty much. So Walt and Jesse are this is when Walt finds out that pretty much being the head of a drug organization isn't as easy as they thought it would be.
Who would have thought?
Yeah. Because you have to pay a lot more money because they have to take out a lot of costs. And Mike knows about this type of stuff because he's a cop and things like that. So
well, I think it's more like Walt knows there's expenses, but Walt's not cool with like having to pay a bunch of people who aren't working for him,
Yeah.
Like he's being strong armed into helping these people, or else they'll rat him out.
Yeah. So Walt pays it though, but obviously it wasn't without an argument. And I love the ending. Walt at the end asks Jesse how he's doing. And obviously, at first Jesse thinks he's just talking about in life, so he mentions that he broke it off with Andrea because he couldn't, he didn't want to take the risk of her finding out about his double life. But Walt's like, I wasn't
secretly.
Walt, was talking about. I wasn't talking about that, which that was kind of a piece of it. Then like Jesse's pouring his heart out.
Super like unsympathetic to anyone now. He's just total monster.
Yeah, and Walt's obviously not happy that he has to pay all these expenses, but Jesse actually, I think, gets it because also too, they're not making as big of a batch as they were when they were with Gus versus when they were with
like as much equipment and as much resources.
Yeah. So then what happens is I like what Walt says at the end. He brings up obviously the season premiere of season 4 when Victor got his throat slit, and talks about how he used to always think it was Gus sending him a message, but maybe it was Gus sending Victor a message, pretty much saying, don't fly too close to the sun.
Because, right, like know your place. Like don't think you're more than you are.
So obviously that scene is very significant. We don't know, but it's setting up probably for something bigger in the future.
No, the Victor scene, it's kind of left ambiguous. Like, did Gus do it to send a message, or did he do it to put Victor in his place, or maybe a little bit of both?
But I liked it too because it was just very good, very good. This episode also I thought was a great episode. I'll give it a B+.
I give it a regular B.
Yeah. And,
there's like a lot of setup. I do like how, their current business idea of, like being exterminators.
Yeah, exactly.
Very solid plan.
I like
plan, but like a very rewarding plan.
I like, more furtherization of Walt's character, Skylar's character. I obviously too like that moment where you see in like the more father-son relationship in a way, with Walt and Jesse. I forgot. Is this the scene too? Oh, is
Kind
it
of
the
showing
next?
like he's closer to Jesse than his own family at this
Yeah,
point.
I think that. But is this the scene too? Because it happens at some point where Walt and Jesse are like talking about something, and Andrea and Brock come in, and this is like the first time Walt sees Brock since he poisoned him and stuff.
Right, and it's like super awkward. And they're not saying anything to each other.
Yeah, because Brock, because he's also like 10 and he wants to play his video game, but obviously Walt's not saying anything because
Yeah.
poisoned him. I think it's this
I wonder
episode.
how did Walt even do that?
I don't know. I asked that question myself.
They never really explained it. Like he just had a flower. I guess he just put the flower near Brock somehow, and then he just got poisoned.
Yeah, because I'm guessing. I mean,
like
it's obvious.
Walt sneak into his room, like rub his nose with the flower, and then leave.
Maybe, yeah. Well, you know, because
that's why I like to think.
Didn't you say
I like to imagine this middle-aged man
it's not,
climbing into this boy's room, and
but it's not the flowers though. You have to eat the berries to get poisoned though. So
I like to imagine Walt dressed up as Santa Claus, stuck into the little boy's room, gave him these berries, left, and then
Actually, I like the way you described it before, where it's like that that white van scene where he said, "Hey kid, want some berries?"
Yeah.
But I like the Santa Claus scene.
Yeah, either or. I accept either as canon.
Because obviously, like I think Saul knew about it too, so he probably had to have been in on it. But how would Saul do it too? Because Saul say, "Hey, eat these berries right here." Like,
probably just his mouth,
It's a logic hole, but it's not like a logic hole that pisses me off in a way, So, but can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't hear you for a second, so but yeah, that was episode 3. Now let's get to episode 4. Let's see. This is 51, so obviously this is a year. Well, we're approaching a year in the first half of it, but after Breaking Bad started, basically. So
in series, the show has been going on for 5 years at this point.
So, the episode, I like the way the episode starts off, where pretty much Walt is pretty much enjoying having money, because he sells his car, and buys him and he doesn't buy it, but he gets it on a lease. Him and Jesse, like, brand new cars, like he did in season 4, and this was very badass because you saw a lot of Heisenberg, and obviously,
Walt loves that he has all this power now.
Yeah, and you saw too. What was in the car was his iconic Eisenberg hat that he would wear too. And when he puts the hat on, he like instantly becomes Eisenberg again too.
Right. And so cool is like whenever Heisenberg comes out, he wears darker clothes. When he's Walter, he's wearing lighter clothes. He's wearing a lot of black now, huh? But kind of can't really get darker than that.
And also too, like when he acts like Eisenberg too, it's not just like him that's wearing darker clothes. Like the scenery itself will just get really dark,
like a lot darker tone. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that happens in this episode. So then Lydia receives a call revealing that the DAA are going to come in and interrogate her. So she pretty much rats somebody out. I think it causes them to get arrested. This scene I don't remember as much because I didn't really skim this part of it, but previously.
Yeah, this episode's probably the one I remember the least.
I don't remember it obviously until the Skylar stuff happened. So, we also found. So I'll just kind of break down bullet points. Hank, I think this is the episode where Hank gets his promotion. He pretty much took his old boss.
Well, because the boss, kind of a lot of stuff went under the radar. Gus, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So he's getting kicked out basically because he had a drug dealer right in front of him. He couldn't do anything about it. And Hank, all of his accomplishments so far, he's being promoted to the head honcho of the DEA.
Which I think Hank was kind of second guessing it because it takes him kind of away from being able to like actually go out on the field and solve the Heisenberg case. So, which is actually a good thing for Walt in a way, because
like Hank's less in the way.
So he ends up. I didn't think he was. Was I the only one that thought like he wasn't gonna they were gonna build like him not taking the job? Because I
was thinking about it, but at the same time I was like, you know what? I can see it. Walt's getting so much power. Only makes sense. Hank does the same thing.
Yeah. So in a way, if you think about it, Walt kind of got Hank this promotion in a way, because if Walt wasn't Eisenberg, Hank probably wouldn't have been able to solve
right. Ranks, because the Goss was a big thing.
Yeah. So then pretty much the whole episode focuses on Skyler's character. You want to talk about?
Yeah. Well, I like it now. It's like it's less in the way, and it's more like it's a better character.
Because this benefits us, because it's not a bad storyline. So we like that. That's the most things it benefits. It benefits Walt because it's making him like more Heisenberg-y.
Yeah, showing him how much more ruthless he is and uncaring.
Yeah. But Walt pretty much, we obviously knew it was going to be his birthday because the episode's called 51. So, but
it could have been Area 51, aliens come into Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah, true. But Skyler too is kind of, she's kind of hinting like she wants to send the kids away by talking about, she randomly would mention that she wants Walter Jr. to go to boarding school, and Walt's like, why would you want to send him to boarding school? And obviously we're all thinking, we know why he wants, she wants.
She just wants them out of the house. She doesn't want them near Walt.
So Walt wants a birthday party pretty much. He wants a birthday
and no one's really all that excited for him.
Yeah. And obviously too, the way Walt's asking for this total is also kind of very it's obvious. Oh, can you hear me now? Hello? Can you hear me?
You're all breaking.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You're frozen though.
Oh, okay. Well, you weren't frozen on mine.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Hey, okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
How about now?
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, how about now?
Yeah.
What about now?
I can hear you.
I'm just making sure because I keep, we're keeping this in,
like. Yeah, there you go. Jesus, the Skype is not the best for these.
It's better than Google Hangout.
Yeah, apparently. Jesus Christ, that was a thing.
Yeah. Can you hear me now though? Like right now?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
All right. We're leaving this in there though. By the way, I'm not editing this out.
Totally. No, we should make a compilation like Skype fails or something.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so I lost my train of thought.
You were talking about Skylar and like her wanting the kids out of the house so they're not in danger.
And Walt's asking, for all this stuff for his birthday cake. Not birthday cake, but his birthday party. And he's asking for very creepily too in a way, like he's in charge, like I'm getting this stuff, or not in a threatening type of way, but I can't
he's demanding stuff, like he's like thinks he's top dog, like he gets anything he wants.
Yeah. So he even leaves work early and tells Jesse that it's his birthday. I only mentioned that because that ties in later on in the episode. So
and it also shows that like Jesse's really the only one who cares.
Yeah.
Like Walt's getting a lot of power, but he's distanced himself from all of his family, and
because he
shows that Walt and Jesse are a lot closer now than his own family.
So Walt's expecting, but and also too, what I like too in this episode too is the 51 thing with the bacon. Skylar was like forced to do it. She didn't really want to do it because obviously that's like a yearly tradition. So, and Walt's coming home and he's kind of expecting this big birthday party, and he didn't get it.
Yeah.
What happens is, you know, he comes home and basically Skylar, you know, just threw in like, I mean, she made like a quality dinner and stuff, but the birthday party that we see him get in the very first episode is not non-existent in this episode. So, then what happens is, Hank and Marie are coming over. They have a conversation in the car where Hank, you know, finds out pretty much that, you know, Skylar cheated on Walt.
Well,
Well, she kind of,
she just, they leave out the whole Walt's a drug dealer thing.
yeah. So, this is where I'll let you take it from here. Why don't you talk about the actual barbecue itself? Because you wanted to talk about this and then it didn't happen yet. So.
Oh, right. Okay, so they're having a good time at, as a family barbecue. Kids are out, Hank and Maria are over, and then Skylar just kind of out of nowhere goes into the pool and just starts floating there, just like out of nowhere in her clothes. Yep. And this freaks them all out, like, okay, sure. Could you not? And then Hank reveals that Skylar wants them to take the kids for a little while.
Yeah.
So they work it out. Walt's first he's hearing of it, so he's pretty pissed off, like, okay, you're acting like a nut job, and then now you want our kids gone.
Yep. I did also like, though, during the barbecue scene when Walt talks about, like he reminisces about getting the cancer, too. It talks about, how, he wouldn't have got it through without Hank and stuff. And he says he can't believe, all this happened. He's like, I can't believe I'm still here. I don't think it's because of also the cancer that Walt can't still believe he's alive. Because I think it's because of
like all the shit he's been doing, all the nut jobs he's been going down with.
Yeah. I obviously too I like the argument with Walt and Skylar. Like I said, it was Heisenberg, but you could also make the argument that it was also Walt being a father in a way, because when you
want his kids around, especially dying.
And Skylar pretty much is trying to come up with every plan in the book, like sending Walter Jr. to not private school but boarding school, and saying that Walt beat her and stuff, but Walt is just shooting down. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, hey.
You froze, so that's probably why you didn't hear.
And let me try moving my laptop. Maybe that'll work.
We're keeping this in there.
All right, we really do gotta do a video just of all of our Skype fails.
Yep. Thank you, Skype.
Yay.
All right. Because it was working fine on my end. You actually just froze. So.
No, you were frozen for me.
Oh, you were frozen. Actually, on my end, you were frozen for me. So.
Yeah, so we were just frozen for each other. Great.
Yeah.
And speaking of freezing, we can't really segue that anyway. Walt shooting down all these ideas that Skylar is coming up with just to get the kids away.
Yeah, I liked it too, because obviously it's like showing that Skylar's basically no match for Walt. So.
Right, like Walt, he's coming up with good reasons why they can't leave, and Skylar's just like frantically think of anything.
Yeah, I also liked it too. Walt pretty much is saying, that Skylar's doing what she, is protecting her family, even if it means having to break the law and all this type of stuff. And Skylar isn't hearing of it, which is kind of funny, because if you watch Walking Dead, you would be on Walt. If Walt and Skylar were in that universe, you would be on Walt's side. But it just shows like when society and stuff is different, you're not on Walt's side. So, because what Walt's doing would be okay in the zombie apocalypse, but not, in the real world. No one
would care about Walt cooking meth. They'd be more worried about the apocalypse.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, because Walt, is killing people and stuff too, though. There's that. Yes. Skype.
All right. So I think this is a sign that we should probably get it going.
Yeah.
We're almost done with this episode, and then we got one more.
Yeah, I know. Skype is just shit in the bed right now. So, but yeah. Anyhow, so what happens is we basically Scarlett's not telling Walt too that you know you know that the reason they're getting the kids away from them is because of him. It's because she's afraid something is going to happen.
Right, because before Walt wanted them to go over Hanks because he was worried someone was going to come to the house and kill them.
Yeah. But now Skylar's worried about Walt mainly. So, then what happens is, I'm all flustered. It's like every couple of sentences. God damn.
Skype. Yeah, I can hear you, but okay, there you go.
Okay. So, then the next scene, I forgot to talk about this because Skype's just being sucking right now.
Skype's being Skype.
So, I forgot to talk about this because I think this was when Skype started going out. Because one of Lydia's men that got arrested, I think he was the one that was getting the methylamine for Walter and Jesse. So now she has no way to get it.
Oh, hang on. For the Skylar thing, did she mention the what she's waiting for?
I think I was going to talk about that, but Stipe keeps being a dick, so I keep forgetting.
Right, yeah, because that was like a pretty big scene of like,
yeah,
this is like how far it's come. Skylar says she just needs to wait out the clock, keep the kids out of the house as long as possible. And Walt says, for what? She says, before his cancer comes back and he dies. So she's just waiting for Walt to die.
Yeah, because he's probably in remission at the moment, so... And I obviously love that scene. That scene was very well done, very memorable. I know you could say, well, how did you forget about it? Well, when you come talk to me when you're doing a video and Skype keeps freezing on you, okay? So, like right now, I just call this type of stuff. Look at Skype right now. I might give this episode like a worse grade now because of Skype.
Yeah, because Skype just getting us in such a bad mood.
Yeah.
That shows cruel Skylar is, but like how desperate she's become.
Yeah. But yeah, like, so then Mike says he's going to send a new guy over to take this methylamine. Obviously, I think we knew it was going to be Jesse. I mean, it's pretty straight, predictable. So,
they got a whole lot of people.
Yeah. So he goes to take this methylamine off, and we find out that it's been bugged. Just like Skype has been bugged. We find out
one more episode to do after this.
I know. And the train episode is like an awesome episode too, and I'm considering just like editing this, but I don't want to. I don't want to edit, so
so we'll power through.
Yeah. Do you want to talk? So yeah, we find out that Jesse, the methylamine, apparently Walt's methylamine. So, methylamine has been bugged by somebody. We don't know.
Yeah, the barrels. Yeah, and to track it because they believe that someone is noticing that it's going missing.
Yeah. So they talk about it with Mike and Walt, and Mike says she did it.
Right. So the cut ties.
Yeah. So Mike's about to...
she's super paranoid about everything. She doesn't want the risk.
So Mike's about to go kill her. But Jesse talks him out of it. I like this scene too because this was right after everything that happened with Walt, so he kind of really wasn't listening to any of this. So, because he had other things going on. So then what happens is Walt, they all vote. Because I think they said this they all vote on stuff, so they vote not to kill her. And obviously the next scene is we find out that Jesse has bought Walt a watch for his birthday, showing more of that father-son relationship and stuff.
Yeah, and that Jesse likes Walt more than his own family.
Yeah. And I think Walt was kind of surprised that he got a birth because it was all. It wasn't like
no one else in his actual family cared, so he was surprised that Jesse cared enough to get him this expensive watch.
Yeah. So he goes home to Skylar. We also find out that Skylar's been smoking again. And Walt shows Skylar the watch, talking about how, Jesse obviously doesn't say his name, but Jesse bought him this watch and he wanted to kill him. So he has faith that Skylar will change her mind about him. So then the episode ends with the clock ticking. And now that you say that, this was obviously, I think, you could probably take this however you want, but this is probably the clock ticking down for Skylar, hoping that Walt will die. So there's that.
Is it when they kidnap her?
Oh, I didn't know that happened.
What?
I didn't know that happened.
No, not Skylar, Lydia.
Oh, that's the next episode.
Okay.
But yeah, now we're finally done with that episode. We got one more. What do you grade this episode?
I give it a B-.
Is this because of Skype, or is it a B- episode?
Yeah, no, not because of Skype. If we're going off of Skype, F-. Like,
yeah.
Or,
yeah, I'd say I give it a B-.
I never rate Skype calls. I'm rating this one like a 1 star.
But yeah, I
actually just because it's a great episode, but it's mostly just set up and like Skylar's it's reasonable, but it is like a little annoying how it's cool how desperate she is, but it's hard to describe. It's just like she's being an idiot,
Yeah, because she's causing herself, like, now she's making she's helping Walt's story now too. So
right, like it's making her come off more as a bad guy and Walt as like the same, which doesn't really work when she's trying to get him the hell out.
Yeah, it's benefiting Walt more than it is her in a way. So
right, but at the same time, it is hurting him at the same time because he wants to be around his kids and he can't.
Yeah, so it's hurting. I feel like it's hurting Skylar though more than it's hurting Walt. So but anyhow, I'll give it also a B-. Good episode, good setup stuff. And also too, I think we know something's gonna happen because obviously now we have one more year where we know something's gonna happen. So
it's a good episode, but it's also sandwiched in between two really good episodes, being last one and this one that we're talking about.
I feel like you remember this episode too a lot more than the others too. So.
Oh yeah, well this is like just such a epic big episode.
Yeah, so I'll let you start off by talking about they
kidnap Lydia.
Yeah.
Because they try to get her to admit that she's the one who bugged the methylamine. She says she didn't, and Walt actually hacks he bugs Hank's office and to see if he says anything about it and if he's telling the truth.
Yeah.
And this shows that like Hank really has a soft spot for Walt. Like this is the reason why he hasn't caught Heisenberg. It's because like he trusts Walt too much.
Yeah, because Walt shows him the watch, and he just thinks that Walt's just treating himself with a new car and a watch because it's his birthday and stuff like that, and everything he's been through. I liked this scene too because it just showed like how smart Walt is becoming at like tricking Hank now and stuff. So, because obviously if you want anybody in this episode, they knew this was a trick. We didn't know what was coming, but we knew Walt was just bullshitting. So,
right, that's like all he does now. 90% of the time, Walt's bullshitting now.
Yeah. So, they bug his office, and at first they say no, so this makes them want to kill Lydia, but then they find out that that somebody, I forget now, but somebody else in like a different department bugged it. And
so the agent is the one who bugged it.
Yeah.
Which, thank God for Lydia, because they were ready to kill her.
Yeah. I even liked it too. Like Hank was even like, what kind of idiot? I mean, this is a good point. What idiot puts like, a bug right on the barrel and stuff like that too? Like, so, now pretty much though, I think they still, even though like she wasn't guilty, they still talk about killing her because
he's still like a problem.
Yeah, and I feel like through the
experience because she tried to get him killed.
Yeah, and they also might think that she doesn't have any use now because she can't get the methylamine and stuff too.
Right.
So then she finds a way that she can get the methylamine by. Why don't you actually talk about that? Because obviously this is
rob a train. Yep, good old Jesse James, Wild West. Breaking Bad has a lot of Wild West inspiration, so that makes sense.
I mean, it makes sense too because it takes place, basically in the Wild West, kind of, because it's in New Mexico now and stuff. So
yeah, like that area of the country. Yeah.
Thank you, Skype. Love you.
I didn't even notice. I was just like, hey.
Fuck Skype.
Stop every
Hello? Damn it. I'm not editing this. You know what? Fuck it. This is bullshit.
Hey, we're back after freaking Skype. Alright. In the middle of talking about the best part of this episode, and then Skype is just like, nope.
Yep.
Backs us over the head, spanks us on the ass, kicks us out, all that fun stuff. So anyway, so Lydia's like, hey, let's rob a train. Well, it's like, first off, fuck Skype. Second of all, we're not robbing a train. That's suicide. It's stupid. They're gonna catch us.
Yeah.
And then they're just running through, like, any other way that they could do this, because they need the methylamine, they need the money, but they don't want to rob a train because that's like a surefire way to get caught.
Yeah. So then Jesse says, what if we make it look like we didn't rob the train? So they come up with
Jesse's really smart lately. Like, Jesse's coming up with all these great ideas.
Yeah, he had the magnet idea and he had this one, so you could say Jesse's character's changed a lot more too, because he's a lot more smarter now than he probably was in the beginning of this series. So
yeah, being around Walt like rubbed off on him. Like he's being ingenuitive, I guess.
Yeah. So
yeah, Jesse's plan is to like rob them without them even realizing it.
Yeah, which is very smart because I feel like I'll explain it because they go through the whole episode explaining it. So, what happens is they take like these two water and like huge water kegs, and they like dig a hole and they fill up one of them up with water because I think they say that like I guess water
like
and
denser than methylamine.
Yeah,
you could like transfer water into the methylamine tank while extracting methylamine, and then like they would need less water than they're taking methylamine.
Yeah, and
replacing it with water, and then they'll just think, oh, China just messed it up. They added a bunch of water. That's weird. Definitely wasn't a bunch of old middle-aged men stealing.
It was a very smart idea, though. Like, like Todd was surprised. Like he's like, "Wow, you guys thought of everything, pretty much."
Right. And like they're gonna get the train to stop so they could replace it by having one of the men, one of Todd's guys, be parked in front of like a passway in front of the train tracks. Say that his truck's broken down.
Well, yeah. A side scene I want to talk about is when Walt goes home and obviously gets Walter Jr. to leave, which we find out Walter Jr. has gone back to his old name Flynn because he's mad at his parents. So
right, understandably, they kind of kicked him out of his house.
Yeah. So, like I said too, I like to how Walt was the one that got him to leave, showing that like he's in charge. So,
right. So, but like he's complying with Skylar. He doesn't want to, but he is.
Yeah. Which kind of sucked for me because I kind of wanted Walt really bad to win this argument. I don't know why, but I did.
Because Skylar's Skylar, even if Walt's a crazy murderous bastard.
Yeah. So I liked because at the end of this was after Walt had dug that hole. Skylar asked him, "Why are your pants dirty? Are you burying dead bodies?" And Walt says,
and he's like, "No, we're robbing a train."
Like he said,
he knows she can't do anything about it, so he's like, "You know what? I'll just rub it in her face."
Yeah. And he even he says it so casually too. It just shows how much Walt just changed this season. Because
if this were a year ago, you'd be like, rob a train. No, man. I'm just cooking in an RV. I'm not going that far.
Yeah. So then, the robbery happens. We won't really explain the gist of it. Just go watch it because the plan was going well up until we see, and it says it literally on the Wikipedia page and stuff, a Good Samaritan popped up.
Actually, Mike said that on the radio. Like, guys, Good Samaritan incoming.
Yeah. And offers to...
Gets it off the tracks, and then the train can start going again. Jesse's underneath the train, and then Todd's on top. Walt wants to get every last ounce. Like, he will not let a little bit go, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he wants all as much as he can.
So
they almost get killed.
Yeah. They do it. Jesse's all happy about it. Walt's all happy about it. Todd's just being Todd. So
yeah, Jesse almost got run over. So he's probably got like a ton of adrenaline in him.
Yeah. So earlier in the episode,
and like, look, we can talk about this scene as much as you want, but like, it's something you just got to see.
Yeah.
It's a great scene. Like 10 out of 10. Like, loved it.
Yeah. But then what happens is we see. Earlier in the episode, we saw a little kid ride his bike and go after and put a spider in a glass jar, and he saw the train go by. And obviously, we're thinking this is a nothing scene. But obviously, if you watch Breaking Bad for this many seasons, there's a reason why they show this stuff.
Nothing scene.
Huh?
There's no such thing as a nothing scene in Breaking Bad,
except the Fly episode.
Yeah, I mean that was more symbolic, I think.
Yeah. So the little kid is there.
Well, Jesse and Todd, having stolen the methamphetamine. He didn't really understand what was going on, though. He just assumed they were happy about something.
Yeah. So I think Todd, doesn't want to take any risks, so he kills them, and Jesse is all...
So Walt seems pretty upset too, but like less so. Jesse, he loves kids. He was gonna kill those 2 drug dealers after they killed that kid.
Yeah.
He loves kids, and he rescued that kid from those 2 junkies.
Yeah. So you can understand Todd's point of view because this kid easily could have ratted him out and stuff, saying I saw the... Because even if he didn't know what was going on, he could have gone talk to his parents about it, and then his parents would make the connection, and then it would have...
but at the same time, he's killing a kid, and Jesse's like understandably pissed off that he's livid at that.
Yeah. So, and it was the end of the episode, and it was just an awesome ending. An awesome episode. I'm gonna give this episode an A-. It was awesome.
I give it just like an A+. Like the train robbery makes it so great.
Yeah, I mean, I might agree with that because there's nothing wrong with this. Like everything's because that's the whole episode pretty much. So
trust me, there's definitely slow moments, but like there's so much like fast-paced like suspense.
Yeah. And
like there's a lot of great moments like with the whole when Walt's just nonchalantly like we're robbing a train.
Yeah. The funny thing.
Like being in control of the whole situation on the radio is cool.
Yeah. The funny thing.
Heartless
the funny thing is too. Maybe it's just me saying this, but it's really hard to believe that like this is the last season because it just. I mean, I'm not saying like the season doesn't feel special, but Breaking Bad's just so great. Every episode just I feel like too because nothing significant yet too has happened where you would feel like it's the last season. I bet it's gonna start to feel that way once the season gets going.
Right, it's like Wolf's just now become like the head honcho,
Yeah.
So it kind of makes like that's gonna like that it's all ending soon.
Yeah. So it makes you kind of wish in a way there was another season because I would have loved to see like a whole season with Walt being the main honcho. But I might change my mind.
Yeah, there's a season, but yeah, it's like Walt like just getting there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, everyone's gonna say like I might change my mind obviously because I haven't seen the rest of the season, so it's like obviously I could.
That's a fair argument.
Yeah, but yeah, this episode, like I said, is an A-. So far this season, like I said, I think thus far has been the best season, out of the...
Yeah. In my opinion, season 5 is the best.
Yeah, but I've only seen the first 5 episodes, so... But but it was but this season's been awesome thus far, and that's pretty much the end of the video.
Man, this is like an hour and 20-minute video. This is a long video.
Well, it's an hour and it probably will be an hour and 20 minutes because we got to do our plugs and stuff. It probably wouldn't have taken this long if Skype hadn't shit the bed towards the end of it. So, because it probably would have taken us. Actually, it probably would have taken us an hour to do this because we were approaching like 45 minutes. So,
yeah.
Anything you want to plug or promote?
Just my channel, AJ Talent. Still haven't really uploaded that much, but I plan to. Your videos?
Obviously, CM Brothers. We're gonna upload Red versus Blue tomorrow. And then this channel on the Talkinator, we're gonna upload. Hopefully, the rest of the first half of season 8 with not season 8. I'm sorry, because season 5. Because I think I was thinking about because episode 8's the last episode, so I had the number 8 on my mind. So
last episode of like the batch that we're doing.
Yeah, hopefully, and because if we could get the first half done, I'll be satisfied. So
right, 4 March.
Yeah.
I mean, 4 March starts. We'll do an update video when Breaking Bad ends because that's like when a lot of changes are going to happen.
Yeah, because we talked about it.
Like a big chunk of what we're doing right now.
Yeah. Because like we said, we talked about this off camera. We'll talk about it now. We're not going to do one because it would be basically just be the same video pretty much.
Right, because we didn't really get a whole lot done this month.
Yeah, but yeah,
we're doing the Negotiator Monday, so look forward to that.
And next Monday, I don't know if it's only going to be recorded, but we're going to obviously have a review up of either Bird Box or Winter's Bone. Depends on what trailer AJ watches and which one he wants to do. So, but yeah. Oh, now I can. Did you see that? Did you watch that trailer I told you to watch? Of that TV show.
I told you that. I was like, yeah, it looks good.
I didn't get a message about that.
Oh, weird. I don't know.
Let me check. Where did you send it?
I think Messenger. I might have texted it to you though.
All right, so. Because that's a show, I feel like that would be a nice show for us to watch where we can watch a show week to week. It's called Whiskey Cavalier. So I don't know if you like spy shows. So, but this will be a good experiment to find out if you do. So
right, a lot more like comedic in tone, but also kind of kick ass.
You can watch. Actually, let's end this video because I have a feeling as I don't want Skype to shit on the bed on us. So we'll talk about it.
All right, so that's it for Breaking Bad, guys.
Yeah.
Tune in next time for episode 6 and 7.
Yeah. See you later.